Hello, 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 my beautifuls, my awesome peoples. How's it going? I am Katie Brannon, and if this is your first time tuning in, well, hi, I'm Katie, and I'm so happy that you're here for listening or even watching. I talk about true crime and perhaps the dark side of things, but I like to shed positivity and hope throughout this very sad story, my video. So what I have now is this is tea time true crime with Katie, but I'm very silly because I left my tea on the kitchen table, and I just was making some chamomile and stuff like that, and I could go get it, but I'm good. I'm ready to do this story because this story, I cannot believe it is not well known. Okay, so right now I have positivity crystals, I have white candles lit behind me, and I am just take a deep breath because we are going to go into Sad Town. But before we get to the story, I want to tell you how I got here. So I don't know if you guys heard of the show Deadly Women. It was on like Investigation Discovery. You could stream it. Now it's on HBO Max. They have like all the seasons. It's very dramatic. I mean, the theme song is like, it's like very, and you have a narrator that the dead money honey. It's a little dramatic, okay? It's not comical at all. In fact, these cases will get to you, but I feel like it's very well done. I love it because of the psychology of it. If you can stomach it, the reenactments and stuff like that, that's cool. But I personally love it because of Candace DeLong. Yes, this queen, you guys, is either the first or one of the first FBI female profilers. So when she talks about cases, they are pretty much, she's on like almost every episode. And she is brilliant. And she is, like an FBI profiler, so a psychologist. She has amazing credibility, and then you have famous authors on there as well, narrating the show and being interviewed. So, have a binge watch-a-thon, get some popcorn, watch it, or, just not, whatever you want to do. But for my true crime peoples, definitely check it out. I do enjoy the show, but sometimes episodes can really get to you. And a lot of the time I Google the cases after the certain segments of the show. Each segment is like 15 minutes long, they do, and there's like 3 in one episode, and they have like a theme, like money honey or too young to kill, just something dramatic like that. But there's this one case that I swear to you guys, when I was watching Deadly Women and I saw this case, I felt this boom in my heart. Like, I'm tearing up right now. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, should I talk about this case? Should I? And it's been literally on my head for days. I have been looking at court documents. I have tried to find other podcasts talking about it. I could find a couple of podcasts, but not many. This doesn't even have a 48 hours episode. Insane, right? Usually, true crime, anything with any credibility, even though it's solved, not solved, they have a 48 hours. Like, that is, but this case, come on, Lester Holt. Come on, man. Unless that's Dateline. Sorry, I get those mixed up. But I love me some Lester Holt. I love his narration voice. Anyway, this case needs to be talked about more because this is such a senseless case. And I literally asked the universe, can I talk about this case? Because honestly, if you are listening, if you are one of the loved ones, I am not doing this case to re-traumatize. That is not my intention. But my intention is awareness about this case, because it did happen, and they were two beautiful people that lost their life, and I swear it affected hundreds, maybe even thousands. So I want to do their story. I don't really want to talk about the killer too much, even though she's the main one. People are really talking about, because now she's coming out with, oh, I had a rough childhood, you know, I was in foster care, I was sexually assaulted, you know. And again, I do not want to argue about someone's journey or what's a lie or not, but she's just now coming out with this, and not during, I mean, there's so many things. So anyway, you guys are probably clueless. I talk in riddles if you don't know. But yes, I do podcasting in a very different kind of way. I'm just like sporadic and random, but I have all good intentions, okay? So let me just, okay, let me picture the scene. I really don't want you to, but this is what happened. April 4th, 2010, a beautiful couple. I mean, engaged, newly engaged. They had like such an amazing day. They loved each other, and they had this huge engagement party. And then after the restaurant, eating good food and hanging out with friends, they decided to go to the club and just have a wonderful time. And they didn't get home. And you know, this couple is named Nia Hawk and Micheal. He has this awesome last name, Mukioki. It's spelled Muchioke. It could be Muchioki, but I feel like it's Mukioki. There are different articles that describe it in different ways. So yeah, this is a young couple. I mean, they're in their early 20s. Nia was only 25 and Micheal was 27, okay? And they were having the time of their life. They literally were just having a great time. They just got engaged. She got the beautiful ring, and they're a very successful young couple. She had apparently affiliate to like Nickelodeon or something like that. They both were in fraternity. She was in a sorority, and he was in a fraternity. He was going to a technology college. So these are like kind of the goody two-shoe friends. You know what I'm saying? We all have them. They're just like perfect. I mean, I'm gonna put them in that light, because as I'm researching them, they literally, not only they're beautiful, but as I read about them, they were so adored. Like this senseless death, this double murder, just destroyed a New Jersey town. They just could not believe it. All right, so yes, they passed away in a brutal way. So Nia and Micheal had a great day, engaged, all the good things, okay? So they go home around 2:30 a.m. because remember, they went to the restaurant and they went to like a club or something like that because they're celebrating. And as they are getting their gifts from the engagement party and stuff like that, they are unloading the vehicle and trying to go home, but they stumble upon these teenagers. We have Shaquan Bellamy, we have Darmelia Lawrence, and we have LaTonya Bellamy. Now, I don't know if it's LaTonya or LaTonya, forgive me, but they are Bellamys. Now, there is a relation to LaTonya and to Shaquan. They are cousins, and they're very close cousins. Not the creepy way, just they grew up in diapers together. They're very, very close. So we're gonna rewind a little bit because now I took you to where the scene happened. We're gonna rewind. Now, there are several different stories about how this occurred, but the main one we know is LaToya. Now, she apparently had a wonderful relationship with her mother, Tiffany. And I mean, I don't know, because now she was in foster care. I don't know what to believe. But again, I do not want to do any disrespect. But LaTonya was a good girl. She did not do anything that, she was a good kid. her dream. She had actual dreams to become like a social worker. She wanted to help people. So how that happened until what happened is anyone's guess. Like, you make one wrong decision and it affected the rest of your life and affected so many other people's lives. So LaTanya and you got Shaquan and you got Darmelia, they're hanging out, doing their thing, and there's a shotgun and a handgun. And LaTanya is, I guess she wants to see them all big and bad. I don't know, okay? But that's the way I feel. Like, hey man, I never know what it's like to shoot a gun, you know? Her cousin is kind of like, I don't want to like profile someone because I don't know him, but he's like a thug because Shaquan actually has been like in and out of the system. And in fact, after this murder happened, he's been charged with like 5 murders. So yeah, this guy is like, he's a bad egg. All right. He's just been in and out of the justice system. But again, I don't know if this was trying to show off or she wanted to do it herself, because she's changed her story like 3 or 4 times. I don't know what to believe. So what happened, okay, what we think happened is that, LaTanya is like, I want to know what it's like to shoot a gun. And Shaquan's like, oh, I got you. Yeah, okay. So let's, they walk around and he has the shotgun and the handgun. She apparently had the handgun in her jacket, a camouflage jacket. So already she's wearing camouflage, so that just is not a good sign. Any dark clothing at night with a weapon, that is not good intentions, So when Micheal and Nia are, just tired and they're just so in love and they just want to go home, get their gifts and go home, they were approached by these 3 teenagers. And, there was no nice nothing. Like, apparently the cousin was like, okay, LaToya, you want to know what it's like to shoot a gun? And this is like spring break, okay? So LaToya, I mean, what she could have done is like, no man, I just want to go home. Like, let's just go home. None of that happened, okay? And even Darmelia, she didn't even touch the gun. She didn't even want anything to do with it. But Darmelia, sadly, guilty by association. She got a harsh sentence, okay, for just like being there. She was like the lookout or something like that. But still, the lookout is guilty by association because you could have stopped it. You could have called the police and be like, it's my cousin and, well, whatever relation she was to Shaquan, excuse me. I'm not sure, but she could have been like, hey, my friend Shaquan and his cousin, they just left the apartment, with the guns. I think you should check it out. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't do that. Now, she said because she was scared of Shaquan and she would not want, pretty much to be a rat, Yeah, I mean, that's hard to say. You would be a rat, but at the same time, 2 people wouldn't have died. You know what I'm saying? You could have, like, really stopped something. So because she didn't stop something, the judge gave her, like, 20 years in prison. Okay, so you're like, okay, Katie, stop stammering. I'm not. I'm trying to, like, do a picture here for you guys, because this is, like, so freaking sad. Like, this is so senseless. I don't understand. So the 3 teenagers approach Micheal and Nia, and they immediately robbery carjacking, okay? And, Micheal is in front of Nia, and he was like, hey, you know what? Here's my keys. Take it. We do not want any trouble at all, like, just take it. And Micheal did the right thing, because usually, I mean, 9 times out of 10, when you're in a carjacking situation, give them the damned keys. Nothing is worth your life, okay? Just saying that. Nothing is worth your life. So Micheal did that, but the teenagers, it did not stop there. So Shaquan is pointing a gun and he was like, yelling at them, get down on the ground. And then, Micheal and Nia, they're like pleading, and they're like, get down on the ground. And what happens is that Micheal they shoot him. like execution style in the head by his newly fiancée Nia. Sorry. Yeah. And you know, Nia is just lying there and she's just waiting to die, and she's holding his hand even though he's no longer here anymore, and she's screaming. And then Shaquan hands, you know, tells LaToya, oh, do you want to know what it's like to shoot a gun? Here. And she gets the handgun and she shoots Nia. Now, apparently there were 3 shots. 1 shot was in his butt, and then 1 shot was in Michael's butt, and then 1 shot was in Nia. Yeah. So, Nia is shot in the head, and it's awful. It's like a thrill kill. So the next thing they do, excuse me, I'm trying to be better at this, but you know I love people, so this is hard for me. So, okay, so after they're shot, the kids decide to rob the deceased couple. They take gift cards, they take jewelry, they take phones and money. There was like $40 in cash, and they even took her new engagement ring that she literally just received. Yeah, I know, heartless. And Shaquan gave LaToya $40 and be like, here you go, girl, I'm guessing to shut her up or whatever. And they run away. Now, inside the house was Michael's little sister, and she heard the gunshot, and she was so terrified that she was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna come after me or something like that. But as soon as she heard the first one, she went and dialed 911. And guess what? The police were there in 5 minutes. They were in 5 minutes. Now, when the police arrived, oh yes, let me back up. So after they were robbed, you were thinking, well, Catie, didn't they take the car? No, because they had one of those anti-lock security sticks on the steering wheel. So when they did try to take the car, they couldn't. So they ran on foot, and they were saw by witnesses. Now, they caught them like 5 days later. I mean, the police were on this case, like on it, okay? And I'm very proud to say that, because that's like, yes, thank you. But they had fingerprints. They had fingerprints, and there were, yeah, because there was fingerprints on the vehicle, and there was, you know, money, gifts, and stuff missing. So, yeah, they basically just called it in. I mean, you have Shaquan that is actually, I mean, this isn't yet, but Shaquan, I'll tell you why he's such a bad dude, okay? So Shaquan he killed like 5 people over a 2-month period. So rest in peace for the shootings of, you know, Nia, Michael, and then you have Lamonte Wright, Malik Richardson, and Lester Thompson. And these people were like young, like 20s and younger. So he's a bad dude. He really is. Now, already the police catch Shaquan because he's in the system, so it's the fingerprints, okay? And then you have, you know, the fingerprints of LaToya. And she decides to cooperate with the police. But one thing that she did not do was immediately ask for an attorney. Wow. An attorney, okay? She did not. But she was fully cooperative for the police. I'll say that. She was. And she showed where all the stolen items were, including like the ring. Now, it is noted that The victim's family, I don't like to use that word, but the people who lost their lives, the family actually did not blame, LaTanya, okay? They didn't. They said it was all Shaquan. But the fact is that, she did shoot the gun. I mean, she could have shot by the body, or she could have just been like, nah, man, let's just go home. Like, I don't like this at all. But again, she said she was absolutely terrified, okay? And we don't know what we would do in a very pressure situation. I mean, you don't. But it was somehow comforting that, the person, it was the mother of, I believe it was Nia's, that she did not blame, her, the daughter, she did not blame for the murders. Like, everybody's saying it's Jaquan's a bad egg and all that. But the thing is, she did shoot the gun. She did shoot a gun. Tiffany Bellamy, that is LaTanya's mother, she is so devastated and distraught by the verdict. It is such a sad verdict. I mean, let me know down in the comments below if you think this is fair. But then there were lives lost. So, like I said, it's a very controversial case. I don't know why it's not well known more, because, LaTanya was only 20 years old on spring break, and just one night ruined her whole entire life. Because the judge gave her 93 years in prison, which means she ain't getting out. She's not. And Shaquan, with all his cases and everything, he ain't getting out either. He's like looking at like 125 years, something like that. Which I'm like, dang, can someone really live that long? No, not really. So he's never getting out. There are several articles where, again, Tiffany Bellamy, LaTanya's mom, is very vocal about the case. So I will read what she says verbatim. I will take everything they want to give, Tiffany Bellamy said. I am willing to be a punching bag if that's what they need. So the mother said she has no idea how her daughter could have been caught in something as heinous as this. She said her daughter was attending Felician College in Lodi at the time, and home on spring break. Like I said, when the killings occurred, she said she was very hopeful for her daughter and will not be, convicted in the murders. Yeah. She had a plan, we had a plan, the mother said, but she let her love for someone blind her. A person who really loved you wouldn't pull you in. Now, I'm guessing the love is blind is her cousin. She was very close to their cousin. Maybe that's what she's saying. All right. So, LaTanya Bellamy has testified that she was paralyzed with fear at the time of the killings and was afraid of what Shaquan Bellamy would do to her if she did not go along. Now, Tiffany Bellamy said her daughter had dreams of the killings, but in her dreams, Shaquan Bellamy is actually killing her. Now, I love my daughter with all my heart, and if I could trade places with her so she could continue her life, I would, Tiffany Bellamy said. I want everyone to know that I am here for her. A mother's love will never fade. Now, as to Shaquan Bellamy, she said, when he came to my house, there were no problems. We sat, we played games, we had meals. He was a good boy to me. Now, Tiffany Bellamy said she is in pain, but she feels the pain of the victims' families as well. Right now, their pain is more important than everything I feel right now, the mother said. Everyone needs to be able to move on, and after this, I really pray that the family is able to move on. You have to forgive. I just want them to be able to go on. I understand their pain is always going to be there, and that wound is never going to close. Yeah. This morning, though, the jury asked to be recharged on the law regarding an accomplice liability as it relates to the charges of murder, felony, carjacking, and robbery. Judge Paul Judge Paul de Pascali recharged them, and they return to deliberation at 11:30. The jury asked also for a readback of portions of LaTonya's Bellamy's testimony while on the stand, but that has not been done. They ordered lunch. So after, I kind of did a spoiler alert. So after lunch, they freaking, man, they nailed her. They nailed LaTonya. They nailed all three of them. Which, yeah. What do you guys think? Do you think they were a little harsh? LaTonya was only 19 years old. I believe she was born October 5th, 1990. So Libra, And as soon as I read that she was a Libra, I'm like, oh no. Now I know how this case is going to go. So LaTonya did change her story like 3 times. And now she's saying she didn't shoot the gun at all. But, when you don't say the truth the first time, your credibility is shot. Sorry, wrong choice of words, excuse me. Your credibility is gone, if you lie to the police, not once, twice, but like 3 times. She is very, very sorry. LaTonya has extreme remorse, and she wishes she could change the day, okay? But the fact is, she said she was terrified of her cousin, Shaquan. She didn't know. Like, when he handed her their gun and said, shoot the fucking gun, she was terrified. But, we weren't there. But if you want me to shoot a gun, and if you're really scared, I would have shot him in the leg, or I would have went down. I would not have killed these people. Like, already Michael's dead. You could have let Nia win. You know what I'm saying? Not win, but like stay alive. There's so many things she could have done, but instead she had to shoot too. So even though Shaquan did the execution murders, we honestly don't know. But we do know that she did shoot a gun. And it's really sad how this young girl, her life is over. Like, it's gone. But I really want to talk about Michael and Nia. Like, oh my God, not only they were beautiful, like on the inside, like, she had a smile, this gorgeous smile that, like, I looked at it and I'm like, oh my God, would you be my friend? Like, and then Michael had this funny, sweet attitude, and he was always there. He was literally the perfect friend. The friends to this day can't even believe it happened. It's such a loss for the community. Yeah, it's a horrible, horrible story. I'm not sure if the family got Nia another engagement ring or something like it, because I would think maybe the ring is in the evidence, in the evidence closet at the police department. But they did say that they were buried actually together, Michael and Nia. I know, heartbreaking. Yeah, I'm trying, you guys. Like, I try so hard not to get emotional in these cases, but I am so emotional. Like, I just feel so sorry for this couple. Like, could you imagine? Like, you literally just got engaged to the love of your life. You have your whole life ahead of you. You have so many dreams, goals, and then bam, these kids, punk ass kids, come and shoot you and kill you and take you away from this life. I don't know. I feel like when I'm reading the articles, they're really wanting, LaTonya to be free and all that. But I just want to, like, Nia and Michael. This is what the case is about. This is who is gone from the world. I do believe, like, reading, and like looking at our old Facebook and stuff, and, because people had pictures of articles, and they were just like, just Google, and you'll find so many things to Google. And I was just like, oh my God, these people would have made the world a better place. They're just one of those kind of people. And it just sucks because there's not many people like them, And I wish, God, healing energy and positive vibes for Nia and Michael's family, because I can't imagine what you're going through or what you went through. I just can't. Yeah, but I do have some tea. I mean, not literally right now, it's in the kitchen, but there is some tea. So in 2022, Demi Minor was a convicted felon who actually murdered his foster father, I believe, because, excuse me, she was, well, excuse me, is a trans prisoner, and she was in the women's unit where LaToya Bellamy was held, and she impregnated, born biologically a male, impregnated 2 women in the prison, and now Demi Minor is being sent to an all-male prison. Yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you feel about that. I will tell you that LaTonya was actually very much in love with Demi Minor, and she had a child in October of 2022, and her name is Justice. Now, if you know anything about the Justice Department, if you have a child in prison, you can only spend time with that child for 24 hours, and then the child is taken away to foster care or to a relative. I feel really bad for that child, because like the child is gonna grow up, and it's just really, really sad. It's wild. Yeah, I saw that. I couldn't believe it. That was everywhere, you know, a trans prisoner impregnating someone and stuff like that. But I will say that it was not rape. Like, again, she was very much in love. And of course, you do not want to give the convicts what they want, but they are people. You have to remember that. So that is the tea that I showed. And yeah, the Demi Minor is going to be moved to an all-male prison. And sadly is talking about the mental and physical abuse. Now, Demi Minor, what I found, like I said, murdered the foster father because there was abuse to Demi Minor when they were young. And it's kind of like, you know, you didn't protect me, you know, you're supposed to be my protector, you deserve to die. I mean, who knows? But Demi did kill somebody. Yeah. But a beautiful baby named Justice. And the pictures, a little baby is adorable, and it's a beautiful baby, healthy. I don't know, what do you guys think about this case? Like, again, I do not want to re-traumatize anybody, but I just want to be like, I mean, there's so many things certain people could have done where this crime didn't even have to happen. And if you want to shoot a gun, go to the country. Go get some glass or, you know, target practice and go way out in the country. Why are you walking around at 3 o'clock in the morning to a residential neighborhood and looking for trouble? Because when you go and look for trouble, especially around the witching hour, trouble is going to find you. I mean, just saying. Thank you so much for listening and or watching today. I really appreciate you. I do not know what my shirt says at all. I saw it on Instagram and I just thought it was cute. So hopefully it's some cute words. I think it's in French, and then but there's an English word that says psych. Great show, by the way, if you guys watch that. It's a corny detective show, but it's a feel-good show. It's not depressing or sad. It's like detective-y. I don't know, some episodes are sad. Anyway, but I love the 2 people. They're the main, Sean and Gus. Gus is my favorite, of course. Gus is my favorite. Yeah, so that's it. I really appreciate you. Please let me know what you think down in the comments below. Again, I wish no ill will to anyone, and I just wish healing and good vibes for the loved ones who have been affected by this case. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Please take care of yourself. Please know that you are cherished and loved. And remember, you are doing better than you think. Bye. I'll see you later.